You think the darkness is your enemy? No, the darkness made you. While the world slept in comfort, you were down there alone, drowning in silence, shackled to your doubts, with nothing but your breath and the bones of who you used to be. And in that suffocating void, something ancient cracked open in you. The world turned its back, and in that betrayal you met your real self. You learned to breathe fire instead of air. You stopped praying for the light to come and started dancing in the damn dark. Every scar became choreography, every failure a rhythm, every silent scream a battle cry. That's not suffering. That's the sound of your soul sharpening its blade. They buried you, thinking that was the end. But you weren't a corpse. You were a seed. And in that black soil of abandonment and rage, you grew. Not upward. No, not yet. First you went down, deeper, into the marrow of your being, where all your illusions were torn away. Down where your name didn't matter, where love didn't save you, where hope tasted like rust, and down there you found your roots made of iron and memories that burned hotter than hell. You clawed through your own psyche like a mad beast hunting freedom, and when you finally stood, you didn't rise as the person they remembered. You rose as the thing they feared you'd become, a soul forged in silence, too sharp to touch, too wild to cage. You didn't just survive the dark, you learned to command it. You learned its tempo, its taste, its twisted poetry. While others begged for dawn, you became the nightfall incarnate, dancing barefoot over broken glass with a grin carved by suffering. You learned to hunt in the hush, strike without warning, and wear your anguish like war paint. The darkness isn't behind you, it's with you, inside you. You're not looking for light anymore because now you are the flame. You're the fire the cold can't smother, the storm silence can't drown, the legend no grave can hold. And now, every step you take isn't just a step, it's a warning. I'm still here, and I brought hell with me. There were nights you begged the pain to end, didn't you? No shame in that. But the gods weren't listening, because they weren't supposed to. That agony, that unbearable silence, that was your forge. Every tear you swallowed carved you into something unholy and unbreakable. You were becoming more than human. You were becoming legend. You didn't break. You became the weapon. And while everyone else hid in their comforts and posted fake strength on polished screens, you were building a cathedral from your hell. Pain baptized you. Isolation crowned you. And when your knees buckled, you smiled. Because you knew, deep down, this was the price of awakening. You remember the nights, don't you? The ones where the silence was louder than bombs, when every breath felt like betrayal, every heartbeat like a countdown to collapse. You laid there, motionless, praying to gods you didn't believe in, whispering bargains into the void like a ghost begging to matter. But nothing came. No miracle, no hand reaching in, just that cold, cruel stillness pressing into your chest like a blade. But in that silence, something started to stir. Not mercy, rage, a slow burning fury. Not at the world, not even at them, but at yourself for waiting. That was the moment you stopped asking for rescue and started rising from the inside out. And that fire, that was the birth of your defiance. Pain didn't leave you, it followed you. It curled up next to you like a familiar dog, always waiting, always watching. And instead of running, you learned its language. You named it. You looked it in the eye and said, "If you're staying, then teach me something." And it did. It taught you resilience through repetition, discipline through devastation. It taught you how to hold your breath in a sea of sorrow until your lungs turned to steel. And the more it took from you, the more you built. Piece by piece, tear by tear, you constructed a fortress from your scars. You didn't just survive, you studied the agony. You let it chisel you like marble until the only thing left was something divine and dangerous. People talk about strength like it's pretty, like it wears medals and suits and smiles, but you know better. Real strength, it's ugly, it's raw. It's waking up every day with nothing in your soul but ash and still choosing to move forward. It's shaking hands, forced smiles, while carrying a war inside your chest. It's bleeding where no one can see and refusing to die quietly. And that strength, that's earned, not given. No one handed it to you. You forged it in the furnace of your worst nights. While they played pretend with happiness, you became the architect of your own resurrection. Brick by brutal brick, you built something no storm could shake. And now you stand where others would have shattered. So let them wonder how you got. Here, let them marvel at the calm in your chaos, the fire in your stillness. They'll never know what it cost, but you know. You remember every dark hour, every silent scream, every time your soul begged for mercy and got met with more pain. And you're grateful for it, because that pain, that silence, that was your rebirth, that was your reckoning, that was the moment. You stopped being theirs and started being yours. You are not the person who fell, you are the force that rose. And every breath you take now is a declaration. You should have finished me when you had the chance. They won't understand the fire in your eyes. Let them mock it. Let them say you've changed. Damn right, you've changed. You died in the dark and clawed your way back with bloodied fingers and a smile that doesn't flinch anymore. That smile is a graveyard of past versions of you. It's a warning. It says, I've danced with demons and led. While they run from their shadows, you made yours your partner. You waltz with fear, whisper in its ear and make it spin to your rhythm. Because fear doesn't leave you, you just learn to lead it. And now that you've mastered the night, the light isn't a destination, it's your reflection. They think the fire is anger, they think it's bitterness or madness. No, the fire in your eyes is the last thing this world fears. Truth. It's the truth of what it takes to survive in a world built on pretending. It's the raw, ruthless honesty of a soul that has seen the underbelly of life and didn't look away. You don't wear masks anymore. You burned them all. You don't shrink for comfort. Don't dim your light to be digestible. You show up whole, bruised, brutal, honest, and when you speak, it cuts. When you move, it echoes. Because you've earned the right to walk like thunder. You earned the right to not care if they understand. They won't understand the weight you carry. They'll never feel the ghosts that still follow you into dreams, the shadows that whisper, doubt at 2 a.m. They don't know what it's like to watch the people you die for disappear like smoke. They don't know betrayal like you do, how it comes in smiles and leaves in silence, and that's fine. They don't have to. You're not here for applause. You're here for impact. You carry your pain like a blade, your past like armor. They'll say you've changed. Good. That means it's working. That means the old you, the one who begged, who broke, is gone. And what's left? That's someone the world isn't ready for. You don't flinch anymore. You study. Every room you walk into, you see everything, every motive, every mask, every lie wrapped in kindness. You know how to play the game now, but you don't play it with their rules. You play it with blood memory and warrior instinct. You walk with grace that's earned through grit, speak with silence that holds more truth than their noise ever could. And when people ask what drives you, you just smile. Because how do you explain that fire to someone who's never stood in the cold long enough to need it? You don't explain. You demonstrate, because now you're not chasing anything, you're attracting it through force, through presence, through sheer will. You don't need permission to be powerful. You are power. You don't beg to be seen. You demand it by the way your soul hums, like a storm about to break. You're not healing to be soft. You're healing to be dangerous with direction. Everything they said would destroy you, you wear it like a crown now. And the fire in your eyes? That's not for them, that's for you. It's your reminder that no matter how deep the dark gets, you are the light that survived it. You found joy where others only find misery. You laugh when it hurts. You laugh when it bleeds, because there's something twistedly beautiful about surviving what was meant to destroy you. There's power in being the last one standing. Hands shaking, heart pounding, but still moving. That's real strength, not the flexing, not the noise, but the silent endurance of the unseen war. You walked through fire barefoot and didn't flinch. You ate your regrets and turned them into war songs. Every bruise is a note, every setback a verse, and now your life is a dark symphony, and you're the conductor. You don't walk the same anymore. Your stride has weight, gravity. Like the ground owes you something for not swallowing you whole. Every step is a drumbeat in a war that hasn't ended but no longer scares you. You became the chaos you once feared. Now you dance in it, move through it like it's a stage built for your resurrection. The world threw you into the furnace, and instead of burning, you melted into your truest form, pure, raw, indestructible. Your laugh cuts through the air like a blade. It doesn't comfort, it warns. It tells the world, I'm not fragile anymore. I'm fire with a purpose. And when the wounds reopen, when the past knocks, you don't run. You smile, because you've already buried worse. People call you cold now, detached. But they don't know what it took to silence the storm inside without losing yourself. You trained your heart to beat under pressure, taught your soul to sing through static. You didn't numb the pain, you learned its language. And now, every scar tells a story no coward could ever understand. They hear trauma, you hear triumph. They see struggle, you see art. Pain to you is no longer an enemy, it's a sculptor. And every hit you take just carves another truth into your frame. You are still here, still dancing, still daring, and that alone makes you unstoppable. This joy you carry, it's not the smile of the naive, it's the grin of someone who's seen the other side and chose to come back with fire in their chest. It's twisted, yes, but only to those who've never crawled through hell with their own teeth. You laugh at misery because you earned the right. You wear your suffering like royalty wears velvet, because every drop of blood was a price you paid in full. You stopped chasing peace. You became the calm in your own war. And now your joy doesn't need permission. It roars in the silence. It dances on the graves of your failures. It's not soft, it's not gentle, it's earned. You are not an inspiration. You're a threat to everything that tried to break you. A walking contradiction, beautiful in your brutality, gentle with those who suffer, ruthless with anything that tries to pull you back. Your joy is rebellion. It's proof that suffering didn't kill you, it taught you. And now, when people ask how you made it through, you don't explain. You just live louder. You just keep dancing in the fire, dragging your story behind you like a war banner soaked in victory. Let the world look. Let them wonder. They'll never understand what it cost, but they'll feel it in their bones when you pass. So stop waiting for someone to save you. No one's coming. This world doesn't hand out redemption. It makes you steal it. You want to rise? Good. Then earn it with grit, with blood, with the kind of madness that only comes from staring into nothing and deciding you're still worth everything. Let your hunger offend the weak. Let your discipline insult the lazy. You're not here to be liked. You're here to be remembered. You are the storm. You are the avalanche. And every step you take echoes through the bones of the ones who doubted. You want freedom? Then bleed for it. Scream for it. Crawl through glass with your teeth clenched and your fists ready to swing. Because this world owes you nothing, and the sooner you accept that, the sooner you become something it can't ignore. Stop begging for a lifeline. Build one out of your rage, your purpose, your scars. Salvation isn't served, it's seized. You either fight for your name, or you disappear into the static of forgotten dreams. Every second you wait for help, you get weaker. Every excuse you tell yourself is just another chain around your neck. You don't need rescue. You need revolution. inside. Your own damn chest. And yes, it's going to hurt. It's going to rip muscle from bone, tear ego from soul. But that's the price of real transformation. You don't get to evolve through comfort. You don't get to rise by staying soft. You want greatness? Then burn for it. Tear off your old self like dead skin and walk into the fire naked, unprotected, daring the universe to strike. The weak will call you crazy. Let them, because only the mad become legends. Only the broken become unbreakable. And only those who die to who they were ever become something new. Let your hunger be violent. Let your thirst for better be a weapon. Stop trying to fit into places you've outgrown. Stop dimming your fire to make others comfortable in their cold. You are the thunder they pretend not to hear, the earthquake beneath their polished lies. You weren't made for mediocre. You were made to terrify comfort, to spit in the face of average, and drag your crown through the dirt if that's what it takes. You don't belong in the shadows anymore. You are the shadow, and when you walk, the ground remembers you, because here's the truth they don't. Want you to know no one is coming, but that's your power. You are the savior. You are the cavalry, the monster and the miracle, forged in silence, crowned in defiance. Every battle you fought alone wasn't punishment. It was preparation. And now you don't just walk into storms, you command them. You turn pain into prophecy, struggle into strategy. You don't need their acceptance. You don't need their love. You need only this, to never forget who the hell you became when the world gave you nothing. There's a rhythm to pain, and once you hear it, really hear it, it becomes a dance, not soft, not graceful, violent, relentless, beautiful in its brutality. And you're the lead. You've learned how to bleed without breaking, how to scream without sound, how to move through chaos like it was written just for you. That's not madness, that's mastery. And when the world sees you now, all they'll feel is awe and fear, because nothing is more terrifying than someone who made peace with their darkness and didn't die there, but most can't hear it. They run from it, drown it out with distractions, drugs, and hollow affirmations. They think stillness is peace, but it's just avoidance. You stayed. You sat in the screams. You listened to every note of agony until it stopped hurting and started teaching. That rhythm you dance to now, it's not from the outside world. It's the drumbeat of your own defiance. Every step you take is timed to every time you were told you're not enough. Every movement is choreographed by betrayal, forged in rejection, refined by solitude. And now, when people see you move, they don't know what they're watching. It's not grace. It's revenge with rhythm. It's survival made beautiful through brutality. You don't walk into rooms. You command them, not with noise, but with presence. That quiet, heavy kind of presence that makes people shift in their seats. You don't need to scream. You are the scream, just compressed into silence sharp enough to cut glass. Every moment of your life has led to this point where your pain became precision, where the world became a battlefield, and you learned to fight with poetry and pressure. You move like someone who's already died and came back by choice. There's no fear in your steps anymore, just focus, just intent, just the quiet promise. I've already been through worse than you, and you have. Let them watch. Let them guess how you're still standing. Let them wonder why you smile when you bleed. They don't get it, and they never will, because they weren't in that basement of your soul when everything fell apart. They didn't hear the echo of your name ricocheting off the walls of your own regret. They didn't see the war behind your eyes while you pretended to be fine. But that was the moment you became dangerous. When you stopped caring who understood, when you stopped waiting to be saved, you lit a fire in that dark and danced around it alone, knowing one truth: no one's coming. And that's the best news I ever got. This dance isn't just survival, it's dominance. It's the quiet domination of a person who doesn't need to prove anything, because their existence already is the proof. You've turned every breakdown into choreography. every heartbreak into a battle stance. You don't just embrace the chaos, you invite it like an old friend. You sip suffering like wine, you make struggle look sacred. And the best part? You're only getting started, because now the dark doesn't chase you anymore. It answers to you. You don't fear the abyss, you command it to rise. Remember this, comfort is the enemy. Softness dulls your edge, but the darkness sharpens you. It teaches you to live where others fade, to grow fangs where others bow. You were never meant for easy. You were built for war, inner war, soul war. And every time you fall, it's just gravity reminding you to rise harder. Let the world cower behind their filters. You've got battle cries tattooed on your ribcage and thunder stitched into your spine. The storm didn't take you, it trained you. And now you walk with the kind of silence that makes the earth listen. You think fire is hot? Try sitting alone with your thoughts at 3 a.m. with no one to blame and nowhere to run. Try facing the mirror when it shows you not who you pretend to be, but what you really are. That's the real furnace. And if you survive that, you don't just change, you evolve. You become something feral, something rare, not soft, not safe, something sacred and savage at the same time. While they preach healing, you live it. Through broken knuckles, bleeding hearts, and voices gone hoarse from screaming at walls that didn't listen. You became the cure to your own poison. You became the very thing you were waiting for. Don't get it twisted. This isn't about motivation. This is warfare. Daily, internal, brutal. You fight the part of you that wants to quit, the one that whispers comfort, ease, softness. And every time you kill it, it comes back weaker. That's how you build discipline. That's how you earn the right to be called unbreakable. Not by winning easy battles, but by standing tall when your legs are shattered and your soul begs for mercy. And still you rise, and still you fight. Because in this world, power respects pain. Real recognizes real. And greatness, it bows to the ones who wouldn't bow at all. So keep your scars. Show them. Let them glisten in the light like medals from wars you weren't supposed to survive. Everyone is a victory. Everyone is a map back to your awakening. The world wants to hide what hurts. It filters, edits, silences. But not you. You carry your past like a blade. Not to cut others, but to remind yourself what you've endured. You wear your truth like armor, your pain like purpose. You don't need validation, you need war. And when it comes, you smile because you've already lived through hell. You know it by name. You learn to love its lessons. And now when you move, the air gets heavy. The weak feel it in their bones, but don't understand it. They call it arrogance, intensity, obsession, but it's not. It's clarity. It's the calm, terrifying presence of someone who's walked through fire and never asked why, only asked how far. You don't fear storms anymore because you became one. The silence you carry isn't emptiness, it's a loaded chamber, and when you finally speak, the world won't hear words. It'll hear judgment, resolve, truth sharp enough to tear through the lies they built their fragile lives on. So go ahead, dance. Not because you're healed, but because you're healing. Not because it's over, but because it's yours. Own the darkness, speak its language, move like it was always part of you, because it is. You're not running from the pain anymore. You're inviting it, because somewhere along the way you realized this is where the light begins, not out there, not from them, but in here, in you. And now the world has no idea what's coming.